Today on The Joy of Editing, I'll be using the brand new TK Magic Mixer to do a black and white conversion of an image that I recently edited in color on a TK Friday. Sit back, relax, and stay tuned. Hello everyone, and welcome to The Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly. Today it's the TK Magic Mixer. Now I recently edited this image on a TK Friday. This image comes to me from Bruce Rawlinson, and what you're seeing right now is that color edit. But today we're going to convert it over to black and white with the TK Magic Mixer. The Magic Mixer was originally designed with black and white conversions in mind, but we also decided that it would be great for working with color as well. So you can work with color as well as black and white. But today, this will be a black and white conversion. Now, the fact being that this image was already edited in color, it's going to make the black and white conversion very easy today. And if you have a bunch of old edits, color edits, you may want to try the TK Magic Mixer out on those as black and white conversions just to see what kind of results you'll get. By the way, if you don't yet have the TK Magic Mixer, it's only $10, and right now it's 25% off up until April 30th, 2024. Now you got to use the promo code MAGIC25. I'll have links in the description below for you. It'll take you over to Tony Kuiper's web store. Grab your TK Magic Mixer. You're going to love it. It's a great investment. And right now you get 25% off with the promo code MAGIC25. And now it's time to have some fun with the Magic Mixer. I have my Magic Mixer docked right here in my Photoshop workspace. And all we need to do to activate it is click this plus right here, and you'll see we have a black and white conversion. Now, this is just a basic black and white conversion. It's a starting point. By the way, if you wanted to work on the image in color, you would check on this LUM checkbox by clicking on it with your mouse, and then you could use the Magic Mixer for color. But if you want to convert your image to black and white, uncheck that checkbox. Now, what makes the Magic Mixer magic? Well, it works with the channel mixer adjustment in Photoshop, which is very hard to use if you've ever tried to use it. But these numbers you notice right here, right now 30, 59, and 11 correspond to the red, green, and blue sliders here. Now, right now you're seeing cyan, red, magenta, green, and yellow, blue. This helps us to understand what we're actually adjusting, what colors. But if you prefer the traditional red, green, and blue, you could click this hamburger menu and switch this to use channel mixer sliders, and it converts them over to red, green, and blue. The numbers stay the same, but I find it's much easier to uncheck use channel mixer sliders and use the cyan, red, magenta, green, and yellow, blue sliders. But now for the magic part, we have this button right here, which is the randomizer button. And by the way, if you hold your Alt or Option key down and hover over any one of these buttons or sliders, you will get information about what each and everything does in the Magic Mixer. And then to close the info, click the X. And this is super helpful to familiarize yourself with the Magic Mixer. And also you could come and click on the hamburger menu and click on Instructions PDF. And this will give you information about the Magic Mixer in more detail. Well, let's get clicking with the randomizer button. So I'm going to go ahead and click it, and you'll notice the image changes each time I click it. And you just keep clicking to see if you could come up with a certain look that you like. And then you could step backwards in what you've done or step forward, because you might keep clicking away with the randomizer button, but then there may have been something there that really interested you. Now, once you get something that you like, you can also come here and slide these sliders around. Now, for instance, if I click this eye here, we can shut off the Magic Mixer, and we can see what is blue here, right? So if we know that sky is blue and I want that sky to go very dark, I'll click this eye button again. And now we see the black and white image. Right here, this yellow-blue, if I take this slider and start to drag it to the left, you notice how the sky starts to darken up. And I could turn it black, which is what I really love. And right there looks really good. And then we could tweak these sliders here. In other words, if I want greens to go lighter, I can drag this slider to the right a little bit. But notice here, when you're working with a channel mixer, you always want this number to remain at 100. And anytime you make any adjustment here, this number will maintain 100, which is very important. So you're not going to screw things up. But if you want your image to go darker, you could take this brightness slider and drag it to the left and darken the image, or move it to the right and lighten the image. And now you can see that this number changes here when you do that. Now, it's okay to go over 100 if you want to lighten your image. But if you want to darken your image, you want to go to the left. So we can brighten our image, we can darken our image. If you right-click inside this slider, you'll reset this back to 100. If you want to increase the contrast of your image, you could take this slider and start to drag it to the right. And you'll notice these other sliders start to change. They start to widen out. You see that when I start to move it? With the contrast slider, we can increase or decrease contrast. To reset it, just right-click anywhere on that slider field and you'll reset it. Now, getting back to the randomizer button, it's a great starting point. Just click on here and go through some different looks just to see what kind of a look you may want. But then you have these other buttons which are very magical too. And these work with the different color channels. I'll click on red. And now you can see what a red channel looks like for a black and white conversion. Click on green, there's green. Click on blue, there's blue. Cyan, magenta, and I'll click on yellow. Now, when I click on yellow, I get really excited because right there, that's almost exactly what I want. I would like the sky to go completely black here, and I'll show you how I can do that. Now, we know the sky is blue, so if I take the yellow-blue slider and drag it more towards yellow, I will lighten up yellows, but I'll darken up blues. So let me start to move this to the left, and you see how the blues start to darken up? And I may go to right about here. And now if I want my red tones in the image to go a little bit darker, I could take this slider and start to drag it to the left a little bit, and my red tones will darken up. I like this adjustment. However, my black sky is not quite as black anymore, so I can come and maybe go right to about here. Or maybe I want the red tones to look just like they do right there. But then I could come and click on this button, and if I hold my Option or Alt key down, you can see that this is the Modify Color Luminosity. So it's looking at the colors of the image. So let me go ahead and click on this. And now you'll notice I have a Color Lume adjustment layer underneath the Magic Mixer layer that's working with the colors of the image. So I have all these different colors I can work with. And I know I want this sky to go black. So if I take the blue slider right here, if I drag it to the right, I'll make the sky lighter. If I take it to the left, I'll make this sky darker. Now, what I use this color lume adjustment for is for fine tuning, just to tweak up everything. So now I could go to my reds, and if I feel my reds on this boulder are too light, I could take this slider and drag it to the left a little bit. You see that, and darken those up a little bit. And then any yellow tones, I can lighten up yellow tones. Like down in these plants, I think they're either yucca or they may be small Joshua trees. I'm not sure. But I can lighten those up by moving that to the right, or I can move it to the left just to darken them up a little bit. And I think maybe like right about there looks pretty good. Let me pull my yellows back just a little bit more, I think, right there. And then if there's any green in here, we can lighten up greens. Like there's a little bit of green down in here. I don't want to go that much, but I just want to fine tune just slightly because my Magic Mixer pretty much got me where I wanted to be. And I like that. Now my moon has gotten too light, but I can fix that, and I'll show you how we'll do that. I'll add another color lume adjustment. So to do that, you have to click on the Magic Mixer layer because you can only apply a color lume adjustment from the Magic Mixer layer. So click this button again, and now we have another color lume layer. Now, I only want to affect the moon and nothing else. So what we can do is put a black mask on here. And to do that, you could do a Command or Control I to invert this. Or if you have the TK9 plugin for Photoshop with the CX or combo panel, you can click this button right here and put a black hide all mask on there. And then get your brush tool. You can type B to get your brush tool. And then make sure you have black and white as your swatches. If you don't, type your D key. That'll give you your default swatches. And now we want to paint on this mask with a white brush, and we have the white brush. So just come over to the moon and hold your Control, Alt, or Option key down, and you can drag to the left or right to make your brush larger or smaller. And I'm just going to make my brush roughly the size of the moon at a hardness of 50%. If I drag down, I can change the hardness. See, right now it's at 100%. I'm just dragging up to 50%. And again, make sure it's the size of the moon. And then just simply click one time. And that's all you need to do. And you can see we have that little white spot on that black mask. And now what we can do is take our red slider and drag it to the left. See how we can darken up the craters on the moon a little bit? And maybe I'll take the yellow to the right or left. I'll take it to the left, see how they darken up a little bit more. And I think that looks about right there. Isn't that cool? And now for an added bonus. Right now we could stop, and I really love the image right here. But what I want to do is burn some of the shadows on these boulders up in here. I think it'll look really nice. Now, dodging and burning work really well with black and white images, as the master Ansel Adams has always done to his black and white images. Of course, he used the darkroom to do it, but we have the TK9 plugin for Photoshop. Now, you could do this without the TK9 plugin for Photoshop, but I'm just going to show you the TK9 way because it's very quick and easy. What we need to do is make our top layer active by clicking on the Magic Mixer layer, and then on either the combo or CX panel, look for this button right here. It has two sides, a left side and a right side. I'm going to use the right side. You'll get the same effect with either side. I'm going to use the right side. That's going to give me a blank pixel layer, and it's also going to give me a black paintbrush. Now it's at 100% opacity. I'm going to type my 1 key to give me 10% opacity. And then what I want to do is use Blend Diff to help me out. So I'm going to come up to my multi-mask panel and click this button here to go into Edit Blend Diff. And I only want to choose dark tones. So I'm going to click on Darks 1. That's going to protect me to only stay on darker tones. And now I'll make my brush a little bit smaller. And then I'm just going to paint across here. After I've painted, then lift my brush and paint again. And lift and paint again. It gets darker and darker. Just to add, some nice, exciting darkness to some of these shadows in here. Maybe come over in here and over in here. This can really spruce up the image at the end. And now I'll make my brush a little smaller and I'll just paint across here and here. Maybe over in here, over in here and here. And then on this boulder right here, I'm going to paint several times. I'm lifting my brush. It gets darker and darker as I lift and paint again. And I'll paint here and maybe up in here a little bit, maybe over in here. And you get the idea, right? But it really helps out. Even this little boulder over here, I don't want to leave this little guy out over here. So now let me shut this layer off. Here is before and here's after. But see how that just darkens up some areas in here? And maybe I'll get some more, maybe right in here and here and here and here. But you get the drift. That's the way that works. You can burn or dodge anywhere in the image you want. Dodging lightens, burning darkens. I went ahead and paused the video and burned a few more areas. You don't see any burning right now. Now watch around the boulders. I'm going to go ahead and turn this layer back on. Here is after the burning. But you see how it adds some nice depth and dimension. Dodging and burning is such a great thing. Now remember, dodging lightens and burning darkens. I only did some burning here. Well, there it is, everyone. I hope you enjoyed today's black and white conversion using the TK Magic Mixer. Remember, it is on sale till the end of this month. Click on the link in the description below and use that promo code MAGIC25. It gives you 25% off and it's good till the end of the month. If you enjoyed today's tutorial, please give it a like and share it with your friends. And if you're not yet a subscriber to my channel, please subscribe, click that bell notification icon, click all so that you'll receive all notifications, and then every time I upload a new tutorial, you'll get notified about it. I want to thank each and every one of you for joining me today in the Joy of Editing with Dave Kelly, and I will see you all right here next time, but until then, happy editing.